Hi, this is a pre-record, so we'll do some Tai Chi together for about an hour, and it's mainly a follow along. If there's anything that comes up from the practice during this one, just bring it along to next week's Zoom, and we'll see what we find. So let's begin together. Screen right. There we go. Our normal stance to start with, standing. Before you begin, really try and lift up and stretch up very lightly, raising from the feet through the sternum, through the back of the neck, all the way to the crown of the head. And you'll see at the beginning, when we did it, we just said first the sternum and then the chin. But really, it's one continuum all the way up. It's one movement. Push the feet into the ground, open the knees, draw that up and continue right through to the crown of the head. So you feel the whole length of the body and then the softening and the settling down. This is when you need to start to feel the body. When you settle down, start to feel the changes that settling down in the body makes. The feet soften and spread. The lower back feels like it widens and opens. The muscles of the chest and the upper back soften, allowing the shoulder blades to slide down the back, settling the shoulder girdle. The arms start to feel a little heavier, but also a little wider. The body starts to be loose over the feet, and our stability comes from readjusting to a centrally stable place, not from holding it. So we just get used to those sensations. And we ask the question, where in the body can I let go further? What muscles don't I need to be supporting me? How can I let the structure of the frame of the body, the bones, carry my weight rather than my muscles carrying my weight? Can I simply rest in this sensation? As your mind quietens down into the sensations of the body, you'll notice the breathing in the background, the changes in the abdomen and the chest, the very small shifts and change in balance, which hopefully we pick up with the feet. The feet are like the antennae for the balance. And over 10, 20, 30 seconds, we just start to notice places we haven't noticed before that we can release. Back of the neck, under the ribs, groin buttocks. Letting the body be soft and at the same time strong in its standing, strong and upright, placed on the ground simply. Sinking down, opening up to parallel. Quiet and smooth movement across and back. Waist turns, foot moves, hands move, all one unit. Just get used to standing posture. Let the legs round out, let the outside edge be engaged. Have a feeling that your torso is sitting on top of the bridge. The tail is hanging as if there's a weight on the tail, opening up the lower back. We begin with folding. Coming up, keep the weight in the same part of the feet. Right to the top of the in-breath. Wait for the out-breath. Keep the weight in the same part of the feet, but fold the spine. Let the head drop. Let the spine arch. It's probably the first time in the day you've given this amount of movement to your spine. So be really gentle with the muscles that are changing, the muscles that are stretching as we let go of the weight of the head, let go of the weight of the shoulders, settle into the feet, wait for the breath. Now you'll have to do this in your own time, so you're following your own breathing. And one thing I've noticed with this exercise, when you come to the top, really try and let go of the weight of the arms so they fall gently behind you. Same with the head. That way you soften the muscles to let the arms fall. You get a stretch across the chest. What we want to try to avoid is at the top being in a contracted condition of just like pulling the arms apart, like a traditional exercise that we might do something quite active. We want to be soft at the top and let gravity have us. So every time you come to the top, listen for that place where you can let go. Listen to that place where your back of your head falls backwards gently, like you're sitting in a chair. Your elbows fall behind you. Your feet keep you stable. And then opening up. And just do a very light stretch outwards to the sides. But with this stretch, instead of just pushing the arms out, try and soften the shoulders. See that movement in the shoulder? Let the elbow be heavy. So there's a sense of the arms. You'll start to feel the muscles in a different way. So the arms go out, but the elbows feel heavy. Just for a short while. And then we'll drop them. And we'll put them back out. The arms are long, but the elbow weighs something heavy. And it starts to pull on the muscles through the upper body. And we're really genuinely feeling the weight of the arm being held up, rather than the tension in the arm that stops us feeling its weight. Just a few tries. This sensation is something we want to feel in the first loosening exercise. So when we open the arms up, we're not hunching the shoulders, and we're not doing it as if there's no weight in the arms. The arms feel really heavy. And then we let them go. This keeps them connected. We don't want to lift the shoulders this way. So if we go into the first loosening exercise, first round out the thighs. connect the outside edges of the feet. Build the posture up from the ground. It's like building a building. Build your body up so the feet connect to the ground in a way that gives you maximum stability and maximum coverage of the ground. Your thighs feel like they're one. The knees feel nice and stable, and the pelvis feels like it can sit. The tail feels like it can drop, and the pelvis feels like it wants to rotate slightly this way. And in order for the tail to drop, the hip joints have to soften to loosen the muscles at the front to allow that movement to take place. Not a big movement, not a huge tucking of the tail, but a letting go. Like a boat on water, it finds its settling place. In order to do that, the thighs have to soften. The muscles have to feel like they're falling off the bones. And the hips can glide into place. Chest rises. We feel our alignment through the crown of the head. We're going to pass that alignment smoothly across, turning the hips to turn the alignment to about 1 o'clock. Turn back. Now I'm 50-50 weight facing the front, and then move across. Now I'm on the right leg facing 11 o'clock. And I want to make sure, just in this small movement of the hips, that I'm not rocking my foot on the ground, but my knee isn't unstable, and that I'm moving to a place that feels comfortably grounded. And what helps with being grounded always is releasing down, settling downwards. So I'm not bringing the arms in yet. I'm just first developing the movement in the lower body and looking at the principles of Tai Chi, the smooth turning of the hips without stopping, smooth, continuous movement, the same speed, tick-tocking from stability on one leg through the centrally stable position to stability on the other leg. I'm looking that my spine stays organized throughout the movement, whether I'm on one leg, whether I'm 50-50, centrally stable, or moving to the other leg, my spine stays organized. In the classics of Tai Chi, it says the hands are the last thing to move. We want the hands to follow the biggest cog, if you like, which is the hips, the millstone. The shoulders follow whatever the hips are doing, and the hands follow whatever the shoulders are doing. So there's an organization to the body. What we don't want is independent movement in different parts of the body. Turn the hips, swing the arms. No, we want the whole thing to go together. Okay? Imagine something like a car, and parts of it decided to move at different times. The gears decided just to move, the clutch decided to move, the wheels, all disorganized. The car wouldn't run smoothly. You'd feel some funny lumps and bumps and strange noises. Our bodies are similar, in a way similar. And what we can do is we can try and get the whole body organized. So the turning, the sinking, the moving across, the remaining stable, the dropping of the arms, all becomes one thing. The opening up of the hips, the lifting up of the legs, the turning of the shoulders, the raising of the elbows, and then the wrists all becomes one thing. And without stopping in the middle, the sinking of the base, the bending of the knees, the softening of the hip joints, the lowering of the back, the turning and dropping of the shoulders, the dropping of the elbows, the wrists, and the arms swinging up, all become one movement. So we don't break up the movement in our mind into neck, legs, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, because that separates everything. We want to try and feel the whole movement as one. How to play. Taiji becomes, well, what can you say, through awareness of what we notice, we discover things. We might discover that when we move, our knee wobbles. We might discover that when we move, we don't feel grounded. We might discover that when we move, the weight is in a different part of the foot. We might discover when we move, our hips tilt. We might discover we lean. We might discover our mind disappears and goes on to something else, the past or the future. All these things we try and work with. We try and choose something to help bring us back in. And what do you think that thing is? I have to tell you because you can't unmute, because this is a pre-record. The sensations themselves hold us in the present moment. The sensations moment by moment. Our focus is the sensations, not the movement. The movement is not a sensation. The sensations happen within the body. The nerve endings are fired. There are nerve endings that will give you spatial awareness, but not so much those, more what are we feeling in terms of pressure, changes inside the body, and muscle changes in particular, loosenings, contractions, forces, settlings. With an aim to continually give up holding and strength. We mustn't be too floppy. We mustn't be floppy. We like cooked spaghetti, overcooked spaghetti. We mustn't be hard and rigid, somewhere between the two, so that when our arms come out here, we feel they're long, but also the elbows feel heavy. So there's this feeling of letting the shoulder girdle sit on the rib cage rather than keeping it floating. Let it sit on the rib cage. Settle the shoulder girdle, settle the hips, settle into the ground. What can help is a very slight delay. What I mean by that is wait until you feel the hips turning before you raise the arms. Wait until you feel the hips turning before you drop the arms. Otherwise, you can be moving the arms independently. So just explore for a few turns. And how do you know if you've got these things all right? How do you, I don't want to say right, I want to say, how do you know if you're working in a way that's beneficial? How do you know if what you're doing is Tai Chi and if that's going to lead towards results? Your practice makes you calm. If you find you are getting agitated or nervous or worried or that's going wrong, this is going wrong, can't do it, your inner critics join the party. And it's not going to leave you alone because a load of things can go out of kilter with Tai Chi. We have to find our inner calm. Our inner calm comes from letting go. That feeling of dropping into a warm bath where everything is just right at the end of the day. Everything's accomplished. We just let go. Everything from the top, from here, everything's accomplished. Just let go. And all the strands that we're trying to accomplish, keeping it upright, keeping it turning from the hips, keeping it continuous, having all the movement as one coordinated movement. All those strands have got a much, much better chance of happening if I'm in a calm place. So your practice generates calm. For those who've done form before, the principles are slightly deeper. The principles build on layers on top of upright, on top of hips turning smoothly, on top of grounding. We start to fall away from the crown of the head as we move. So this is, I've talked about this before, this is more of an intermediate level. The analogy, if you like, is the body is like a lift shaft. And the lift goes down. Something goes down inside the body, falling away from the crown of the head. What we don't do is lower the body. This would be the lift shaft moving with the lift. And if the lift shaft is moving with the lift, there's no movement or there's no relative movement. What we want is something to go down and leave the lift shaft behind. How do we know what that going down is? How do we know which part of us it is? And how do we start to feel that? This is where the body starts to move sequentially rather than coordinated. And for the intermediate group, because I'm doing this pre-record for both groups at the same time, the base changes first. The changes are in the base first. The muscles that let go are in the legs, primarily from the abdomen to the knee, changing. They say the movement starts in the dantian or the center of gravity here, but in effect, It's between the knee and the dantian. The muscles change. That has a drawing effect on the rest of the muscles. Like if I pull on my shirt here, it has an effect at the neck. You can see it moving here. When you let go below, the fascia of the body extends, it elongates, and you can feel it. You can definitely feel the muscles in the body changing. So when you change the base, things to look for: the ankles folding, the knees bending, the hips folding, the lower back emptying and dropping. If you can get the ankles, the knee, the hip joints, and the lower back all changing angles, if you can coordinate the muscles or let go of the muscles so all those joints can change, you begin the sinking of the lift. And then later, you can work with how the upper part of the body can follow those changes below, but the base has to be working well. All the sinking has to go to the center of the feet. It's like you're spiraling water into a bath plug. One part of it just goes straight down into the foot. You mustn't throw your weight over here. You must throw your weight straight down. Or not even throw. Let it melt straight down, away from the crown of the head. So, whatever level of practice you're on, beginner, upright, smooth, continuous movement, stable, or intermediate, starting to work with the base moving first and the upper body following. You work at the level just slightly more than you can do, just slightly more than you can do, so that you don't get ruffled by it. Get too ruffled by it, you're not calm anymore, you're not in a good place, and you generally start getting critical of what you're doing. So we want to stay calm. We want to feel the sensations of what we're doing. And the smaller changes are very difficult to see from the outside. They feel really big on the inside, the melting of the hips, the melting of the lower back, the softening of the chest, the widening of the back, are all very small movements and difficult to see. But from the practitioner's point of view, they feel very big, because the mind is like a magnifying glass listening into these things. Where you put your focus, you'll notice more. If you've ever sat in, say you sat in a meadow, and at first it's just grass, and sky and grass, trees maybe. And then after a while you notice, there's a few more different types of grass here than I thought. And then you might see a few little insects. And then you might start noticing a few different bird sounds. And gradually more comes to you. It's very much like that when we practice. We just start off simply doing the simple things. And as our mind settles, more and more information comes to us. And we practice in a deeper way. I went on a workshop many years ago. Wikijin used to teach really slowly, really almost painfully slowly, I have to say. And over a weekend, you do about 4 moves of the form and 3 of the loosening exercises. And you do this exercise for 2.5 hours. But I have to say, what an amazing 2.5 hours, because slowly, slowly, slowly you build up all those layers. And by the end of 2.5 hours, you've got to a place like climbing up a mountain, looking over the top. There's something else to see that you can't see from below. And then you go away and try and practice it yourself and it disappears. You go, oh, I'm sure it was there somewhere. And then a year or two later, that feels normal now. That place, that view over the mountain feels normal. And you realize your level of practice has developed. But let's have a look at that second exercise. Heavy elbows. 4 swings and I'm at my lowest. Then the knees open. And I'm coming up. 4 swings and I'm back to the beginning. Beginners, make sure your legs are changing smoothly. 1, 2, 3, 4. A continuous sinking the whole time, a continuous going down over those 4 swings. So often I see this. 1, then a little jerk, down the step, down the step, down the step. No, we want one smooth, continuous flow into the feet. For the intermediates, ankles, knees, hips, and tail, the legs, the base leading the movement all the way down, without stopping, without hitting the bottom. Hitting the bottom means the changes stop. Hitting the bottom means the floor feels heavy and the changing and the sinking into the floor stops happening. I'm going to say something about that now, just as a side. When you touch the wall, it feels hard. The reason it feels hard is that my muscles have stopped changing at the moment I hit the wall. If my muscles continue to change, the joints continue to fold, the shoulder continues to drop, the wall doesn't feel hard at all. It feels very soft. As soon as I stop moving, my lack of changes become strong and the wall feels hard. When I stay soft and fluid and moving around, the back of my hand feels very light against the wall and the wall doesn't feel heavy at all. We can do the same thing with the feet. If you think of the feet as a wall and I drop into my feet and I stop changing, my body weight pushes against the floor feels hard. I've hit a plateau. If I can continue to change, I can keep the feet lighter and lighter. So for the intermediate people who are following this video, think of that in your practice. Think of the fact that you make the surface hard. The surface isn't per se hard. It's hard in relation to how you are. If you can keep soft and fluid and releasing all the time, anybody who comes to you and push hands who feels hard has got nothing to land on. You soften their hardness, just as you soften the wall, just as you can soften the floor. So for the beginners, it's simply a matter of smooth changes going down, keeping the body upright, continuous sinking, the four swings of the arms. 2, 3, 4. Coming up. Continuously coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the intermediates, we're taking the lift to the bottom floor. We're leaving the head top behind. We're falling away from the head top of the four swings of the arms. We're keeping the feet light. So you choose which group you're in, what level you're at, what your practice can achieve, and you practice at the level you can achieve. Don't try and practice too far beyond. 1, 2, 3. Lowest position coming up. 1, 2, 3. Top position, release. For both beginners and intermediate, try not to have a stopping point at the bottom or a stopping point at the top. That's the same as throwing a ball in the air. The stopping point is really just its potential highest point, and the bottom point is when it squashes onto the ground and comes up again. There's no real stopping. It presses into itself, develops forces and rises up. It stretches open elastically and comes down again, concertinaing. The body is concertinaing. Try and feel those sensations. And ask questions of your movement. On the way down, is there unnecessary holding? Maybe in the thighs, maybe in the buttocks, maybe in the lower back. Is there any realignment I can work on? I often see people look down at their feet as if something with their eyes is going to tell them more about what's happening in their feet. Try and rely on the sensations in your feet to tell you where your weight is, to tell you the pressure in your feet, to let you know how your body is balanced over your feet rather than looking. For a while, when we go into strange postures like bow stance, where we say be shoulder width, you may need to look down at the feet and just check there's shoulder width between the heels, because many people take this step and they come in and they're too narrow. Here, we need to be here. Or they move from ward off left. They step to ward off right. Again, too narrow. Or they move from single width. Yeah, too narrow. It needs to be here. Get used to the feeling and the sensation. And if you feel you step and you're in the wrong place, just make the adjustment. Just make the adjustment so that your correction is always in line with what you're trying to achieve. You're never content with, oh, my feet are too narrow, I'll just do that posture. It doesn't work. The feeling of the posture doesn't work. You need to be able to tell your body what to do. Your body is waiting for the right signal from you. It will do the most lazy thing. It will do the first thing it thinks of, unconsciously, it will go into any old posture. We want to place organization into the body. If you want to make the body and mind one thing and work together as one unit, you have to train the mind and the body to work together. It won't happen from letting the body be random. The body has to be clearly told what you're looking for. You understand why you're looking for it, and it starts over time to get the message and follow. Then your mind and your body come together. Your body becomes your instrument. So ward off left, moving into ward off right, easily finds a shoulder width stance that you get comfortable with. Let's go through the form together. You just go up to single whip. Same instructions for beginners and for intermediates about keeping the body loose, not trying to stand still, but finding fluidity. First instruction is to bend the knees. Take the weight to both feet. Feel the support under both feet. Pass that support with a minimal movement to the right leg. Beginners will feel they have to move over the right leg to get the balance, but intermediates can shift the balance on the inside by changing the muscles on the inside and finding stability without moving over the right foot. So whichever level you're on, whether you're falling away from the crown of the head, like the lift going down, or whether you're simply bending the knees and softening the hip joints, push the foot across, square the outside of the edge to the front. When you're ready, there's no weight in the left foot. Slowly pour the weight to the left foot, turning the hips, keeping the body upright, sinking to the left until you're stable on the left. You may find you go a long way across. You may find you don't go a long way across, but stability is the key. As you turn back, your foot, your hands, and your hips, guided by your hips, all move together. As one. All move together as one. Lift. Sink. Sink is releasing. Keep the feet light. Turn. As soon as you turn the hips, the left toes turn in. They pivot on the heel of the left, so the toes of the left come off the ground slightly, so you can pivot on the heel. Pass the weight to the left foot, and look how I'm sitting away from my right arm. My right arm is here. I leave it behind, and some space opens up. The arm is long. The right arm is long. When I turn my hips, all my weight is on the left foot. My shoulder turns when I turn my hips and draws my hand upwards to the height of the elbow and the sternum, facing 3 o'clock. One smooth movement. Turning finishes. As I arrive facing 3 o'clock, the arm is in place as the turning finishes. And most importantly, especially for the beginners, this knee doesn't move inwards. So when you turn, the movement is in the hip joint, not in the knee and not in the ankle. If you find your foot rolling onto the inside edge of your foot, your knee's moving and you're not softening this joint enough. So we want to stabilize the leg. Foot turns in. Then when we move over it, then when we turn, we stabilize the leg by relaxing, not by tightening, by relaxing, turning. Opening the hip joint, one smooth movement. Then we walk forwards. Walking forwards, sinking downwards. Stable. When we arrive in the center, we're upright. The weight's 50-50, almost stable. I've moved from my back foot, my front foot's in the air. As I arrive in the middle, front foot touches down. Hands stay the same. For the intermediate, we open the back knee and a little wave comes through to the hands, like squeezing toothpaste. Now, I've described this in the class a lot, not a lot, some. I'm not going to do it here, what you do, but you open the back knee, you relax the shoulders, and the force comes through to the hands. Then we walk onto the front foot until you're connected over the front foot, and look at my back foot, the heels come on. Turn to the corner, step, glide into the 50-50. My hips and my head is still facing the corner. When you turn the hips, the foot comes as well, pivoting on the heel, shoulder width, finally sinking to square, sinking and settling to square. Small expansion of the back knee through to the hands. Move on to the front foot with a small folding of the front hip. The right hand comes in front of the groin, hands on the center line of the body. Turn to the corner, lift the left arm, lift the right arm. See how the shoulder turns, and as it turns, it pulls on the arm. The arm is the last thing to move. As the shoulder moves, it pulls on the arm, and the arm follows the shoulder movement. The shoulder is led by the hips. So you're in ward off left. Turn. Hands are already in position on the center line of the body. Step. Glide in a square the hips, hands are already there, fingers of the left in a straight line knocking into the palm of the hand, no break in the wrist, no tension, as if it's resting. Crease of the hand on the midline of the body at the height of the base of the throat. Small turn of the hips to 4 o'clock. That's done with the opening of the back knee. Turn back. This move confounds people because here, most people move back and they're unbalanced over the back foot. They're kind of like balanced like a pyramid that way on their back foot. You need to be like this, stable on your back foot. So how do you move from here to here and be stable? If you find you're not stable, do it half a dozen times. If it doesn't work, do it again. Try and find that place of calm. Settling. Falling away from the crown of the head. And ask yourself, am I stable? Is my weight going into the center of the foot? My hips are only moving that far. They're only moving about that far back. But there's this quality of sinking to the back foot. Not just moving like a train moving backwards, sinking as I move backwards. And the sinking quality gives me the dropping of the left arm. The movement at the beginning of the form, sinking the base, softening the chest, dropping the elbows. It's exactly the same, but here the hand turns over. Okay, it's on the fingers are on the center line. Hand just turns over. It arrives on the center line. Fingers were looking into the hand. As I sit back, I'm sinking. The hand drops. It's like it goes round a ball. When I'm sunk and stable and on the back foot, I'm ready to turn open. The arm only moves because the hips move. The hips turn, the shoulder follows, the arm moves. One movement. First to the hip joint, one fist from the body. First it drops onto the hip joint, then it slides, then it lifts, heavy in the elbow. When you turn the hips back, the elbow folds, landing one fist from the ear, facing back to 3 o'clock. Sit back, turn open, turn back. When you move in, it's exactly the same as this move, holding the ball, sinking in. But here we're sinking in. As we sink in, the left arm drops and the wrists meet. Upright, connected in the center. Small opening of the back knee, small release of the shoulders, the arms roll up. They roll. Left hand on top, right hand underneath, meeting at the wrist, flat, one fist from the body. They roll up, the shoulders drop, the arms roll up, shoulders down, something sinks down the back, shoulders up, shoulders down, arm up. Like a little pulley here, like a little pulley, just moving. But it's not the clothes, it's the fascia of the body and the changes of the muscles on the inside. So there's a sinking. While the arms come up, there's a sinking in the legs. There's a releasing in the shoulders. There's a floating of the arms. When you sit back, the arms stay where they are. If you look at this line down the cloth at the back of the room, and the arms are here, when you sit back, the arms stay exactly where they are. Only when you move forward does the body sink. This is when the shoulders drop, the elbows drop, and the arms bend. The hands haven't moved. They're still in line with that curtain. Sit back, move in. Small opening of the back knee, small sinking of the shoulders. Force comes to the fingertips. This movement is like a piece of paper opening out. What do I mean by that? When I open out the paper, this side goes that way, this side goes that way. My arm is like the folded piece of paper. In order for the fingers to go out, the shoulder has to go back and down. Very small movement. But it doesn't come from the shoulder pushing the hand forwards. So this piece of side doesn't get moved by the whole bit of paper moving forwards. The elbow stays in the same place and opens out. The elbow doesn't move forward to push. Elbow stays where it is. This transmits force along the arm, connection through to the ground, and force along the arm. Push. Sit back and drop the arms parallel to the ground. They open out from an A shape. They open out. Hip width. This movement of sitting back is very much like the previous movement from here. Grounding as we sit back. Grounding as we sit back. Ready to turn. Aligned, connected, turn. As soon as I turn the hips, my right toe is turning. Without stopping the turn, pass the weight back to the right foot. This bit confuses people because you have to pivot on the ball of your left foot. If you look at my left foot, which is this one, sit back, turn, my right toes turning, and as I move to my right foot, watch my left foot now, pivots on the ball. Turn clockwise, pivot on the ball of the left foot, no weight in the left foot. Turn to the front, 12 o'clock, lift the left hand. Slide in the ball of the left foot because there's no weight in it. Step behind with the heel. Turn, open the toes. Move into the center away from the hook. Sink. As you sink, the shoulder and arm drop. So you open the back knee, the hand turns over, and the force comes through to both arms, just like that piece of paper. Shoulders dropping, arms expanding. Single way. We'll go from the beginning. Because you'll have this recording, you can stop it any time and go through any of the detail you wish. Try and remember one thing, or put it another way, notice one thing you do that's inconsistent. Maybe every time you sit back, you feel ungrounded. Maybe when you turn, you're moving your arm independently. Anything, just try and find one thing that's just inconsistent and go over it 10 times. Go over that one thing until you're getting a better feel for it. This is the way to gradually unify your body and mind. And hold the ball. Sinking. Connected. Move forward, sinking. Release the hands as you open the back knee. Find the front foot and sink and find stability. Back heel comes off the ground, turn. Step, glide it. Turn the hips, bring in the foot, sink and drop the right hand. Issue the force from the back knee. Turn, move on to the right foot. Turn to the corner, pick up the right arm, step, glide it, facing 3 o'clock. Forward off right, to the corner. Back, sit back, sink in. Turn open. Turn back, fold at the elbow. Facing 3 o'clock, sink forwards, wrist touch. Press. Draw back, stable in the back foot. Sink forwards, arms separate. Push. Sit back, stable in the left leg. Turn. Move to the right foot, keep turning. Turn back clockwise, drop the left hand. Turn to 12 o'clock anti-clockwise. Slide in the left foot, step out with the heel. Sink. Open the back knee, hand turns over, single whip. Facing 9 o'clock, shoulder whip, shoulders, gaze, connected. Okay, good. Next move, lifting hands. From single whip. Move forward. For beginners, we move over the foot so we've got balance, and then we turn, pushing out the heel, the right. Move forwards, but there's no weight in the right foot, and then turn, scoop, bring in the right foot, bring in the right ball of the foot, sink, push out the heel, lifting hands. The hands face 12 o'clock, the hips to the corner. So the hips are going to be facing about 11, 10:30, 11, and the hands and the gaze are facing 12 o'clock as if you're catching someone's arm. For the more intermediate, we start getting that stability much, much earlier. The beginners get stability because their weight is over their leg. It's like being balanced upright. The intermediate get their stability by letting the lift sink early. The leg changes and stability starts to rise. As soon as it starts to rise to the hips, you can turn. So you don't need to move all the way over the leg. You can just move till you've got stability, turn. As soon as you turn, the body is turning and the shoulders follow the movement. See if you can get that feeling on the shoulders to move the arms. Slide in the toes, sink and push out the heel. Lifting hands. Breaking it down, move forward, turn, slide in the foot, sink and push out the heel. One smooth movement, gliding, smooth sinking, finish the sinking. You can see different practices for different levels. Don't let the arms drop and come up. Someone's arms coming straight, just catch it. Catch it. There's a rotation in the arms. There's a rotation in the shoulders that generates the turning of the hands. It's not that you twist the wrists. You're not turning taps on with the wrists. Your whole shoulder girdle is changing. And for the intermediates, the shoulder girdle can't change unless it's supported from below. It can rest over something that's supported from below. You need to bring the support up through the body so the shoulders can change. How do you bring the support up through the body? It's like a water table. Something sinks down through the body and the water table at the same time rises. And the water table is the support that comes from the ground that lets you melt over it. That's too abstract for the beginners. Then simply find the movements that are smooth. Drop the arms. The right arm, right hand with one fist protecting the groin. Turn open. Slide the hand through the hip. Turn back. Fold at the arm. Draw in the right foot. Step to the corner. Sink in. Shoulder stroke. Shoulder stroke. The right foot is facing 10:30. The hips are facing about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Not square to 10:30. Slightly to the side. The hands are caged around the body, both on the straight line. One fist from the body, one fist from the groin. Shoulder stroke leading with the side of the body. Nice curved arm, not elbow, not straight, nice curved arm. If I do it facing this way, single whip, left hands, turn. As you turn, bring the right toes in. As you turn back, bring the right ball of the foot back. As you step to the corner, sink into the centre. Small issue from the back knee, turns the hips. Don't move forward, just simple turn of the hips and the back knee opening. Very much like you turn into the corner here. You don't move forward, you just stay on the centre axis and turn. Here you just stay on the centre axis and turn. The next movement, you move on to the front foot with a continued turning movement. So that turning is part from the back knee opening, the first part of it, and the second part of it sinking into the front leg. Now all my weight is in the right leg, ready for the next move, which is one crane. But unfortunately, that's why we're going to leave it. Next time we meet, please ask about any of those moves, and we will continue moving on with our practice. Yeah, at a pace that suits you. So thank you very much. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot.